man was driving alone through a remote highway in Ukraine. Nothing but darkness, empty roads, and heavy snow. His dash cam was rolling, as it always was. Just another quiet winter night. Then something sprinted across the road in front of his car. Upright, featureless, moving at a speed that left him frozen behind the wheel for 20 minutes in the middle of nowhere. Let's watch the footage. On the night of February 12, 2023, at exactly 1:10 a.m., a home security camera mounted in a family kitchen captured something that has since left everyone who watched it completely speechless. The house was silent. Everyone was asleep. Not a single person was in the kitchen. The timestamp on the footage reads 1:10 when it happens. No motion preceding it. No vibration, no sound, no draft. And then the microwave door swings open. On its own, slowly, deliberately, as if someone or something had just reached out and pulled it. What makes this footage particularly difficult to dismiss is the nature of microwave doors themselves. They are spring-loaded and sealed by a latch mechanism. They do not simply fall open. When the footage is zoomed in, there is nothing visible near the microwave at the moment it opens. No hand, no shadow, no reflection, just the door, moving on its own at 1:10 in the morning while the rest of the house slept. The homeowner never found a rational explanation. The microwave was inspected. Nothing was faulty. Nothing was broken. It has never opened on its own since. At least, not that anyone has caught on camera. So here's what I want to know. If your home security camera sent you that alert at 1:10 in the morning, would you go downstairs to check? Or would you stay exactly where you were? Urban explorers are a specific breed of person. They go where most people refuse to. Abandoned buildings, derelict factories, forgotten underground spaces. They thrive on the unknown. But even for someone who actively seeks out dark and unsettling places, what one man captured inside an abandoned tunnel in Ohio at 3 a.m. was something he was completely unprepared for.
Did you hear that? That was loud. What the hell? What the fuck? What the fuck was that?
That night was different from the moment he stepped inside. Within minutes, the silence was broken by a loud, heavy banging, echoing to the tunnel from somewhere deep ahead of him. Not the sound of settling concrete or dripping water. Deliberate, rhythmic, like something announcing its presence. Then it happened. A white silhouette passed directly through him. Not around him. Through him. He spun around immediately, flashlights sweeping the tunnel in every direction. Nothing. The tunnel behind him was completely empty. No footsteps. No echo of movement. Whatever it was had passed through his body and simply ceased to exist in the visible world. But the camera caught it. A faint, pale shape, moving at unnatural speed, visible for just under 2 seconds before vanishing entirely. He pushed forward, visibly shaken, breathing harder now. And that is when the second encounter happened. At the far entrance of the tunnel, partially obscured by darkness, a white figure appeared in the doorway, standing completely still, watching him. It had no discernible features, no face, no clothing, no clear outline, just a pale, luminous shape occupying the space between the tunnel and whatever lay outside. He took a step forward. The figure didn't move. And then, between one frame and the next, it was gone. The explorer never went back. He uploaded the footage the same morning, still visibly shaken in the outro of his video. It has been shared thousands of times across paranormal communities in the US and Europe. So, what do you think was waiting for him at the end of that tunnel? And more importantly, why was it watching? A family in rural Poland had been noticing small, unexplainable things around their home for weeks. A glass moved from one counter to another overnight. A persistent smell of something burning with no visible source. Their cat sitting motionless in the hallway, staring at the pantry door for hours at a time, never blinking, never moving. They decided to set up a camera in the kitchen before leaving for the weekend. The house would be completely empty. No pets inside, no neighbors with a spare key, no timers on any appliances. Just a locked, empty house and a camera left running. What it recorded over those 2 nights has never been explained. The first event happens at 2:34 a.m. on the first night. The pantry door, a heavy wooden door with a firm latch, slowly begins to move, not swinging open dramatically, just drifting steadily, as if someone on the other side is gently pushing outward. It opens roughly 40 centimeters and stops, holds that position for nearly a minute. Then, just as slowly, it pulls itself shut again. No draft. No open windows, no structural reason for it to move. Then the lights begin. Over the course of the next hour, the kitchen light switches off on its own, comes back on 4 minutes later, switches off again. The pattern is irregular, not the behavior of a faulty circuit or a flickering bulb. It feels, to anyone watching the footage, less like a malfunction and more like something moving to the space and interacting with it. The camera was taken down after this footage was captured. The family has not spoken publicly about what happened next. So what do you think was moving through that kitchen at 2 a.m.? And whatever it was, do you think it knew the camera was watching? This clip comes from Japan, and at first glance it looks like nothing more than a casual evening among friends. A group of young people hanging out in an apartment. The kind of ordinary, carefree night that millions of people have every weekend. One of the guys is filming his friend, a girl who is lying relaxed on the bed, laughing at something off camera. Another guy gets up and walks toward the refrigerator in the background, reaching in for a drink. The atmosphere is light. Nobody is on edge. Nobody is paying attention to the window. That is exactly why what happens next is so disturbing.
Aí, fim da festa aí, pessoal, ó, comprei a câmera nova, vamos colocar um vídeo no YouTube aí, ó.
Ai, que vergonha, não faz isso.
A Josi capotada já, com sono. Aí, Thiago, a câmera que eu comprei nova aí.
Você viu demais.
Vermelhinha e tal. Vocês nem esperaram pra festa aí, né, mano? Meu Deus do céu, que porra é essa, velho?
Tá louco?
Mano, eu vi uma coisa aqui, Thiago, tem alguma coisa que passou aqui, velho.
Velho.
Tô falando sério, cara, tô falando sério. Vem aqui comigo, cara.
Tem nada aqui não.
Eu vi uma coisa assim, cara.
Tá louco, mano?
Maluco, maluco. Eu vou voltar a câmera. Eu vou voltar a câmera e você vai ver, velho.
In the moment the second guy opens the fridge, a massive dark figure passes by the window behind him. Large, upright, moving with a slow, heavy presence that is completely inconsistent with someone simply walking past outside. The figure is tall, noticeably taller than the window frame would suggest a normal person to be, and it moves without any of the natural, uneven rhythm of a human stride. Only the camera catches it. Whatever passed by that window should not have been able to be there. They went to check immediately, searched the surrounding area. Nothing, Nobody was there below matched the size or silhouette of what the camera had captured. No logical explanation for how anything, human or otherwise, could have been at that height, at that window, at that moment. Shadow figures appearing at windows are among the most commonly reported paranormal experiences worldwide. But most of those reports involve figures on the ground floor. A figure at an upper floor window with nothing to stand on is a different category entirely. So what was standing outside that window watching them? And if the camera hadn't been rolling, would they have ever known it was there? This footage comes from a home security camera mounted inside a couple's bedroom. Just another ordinary night. Husband and wife asleep, the house quiet, everything exactly as it should be. It starts at 2:47 a.m.
Baby, wake up. Wake up. Baby, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Come, just open the door. Aren't you waking up? Baby, wake up! Wake up! Oh my God, baby. Wake up! Wake up! Baby! Wake! Wake! Are you okay?
A loud, heavy banging sound fills the room, not coming from outside, coming from somewhere deeper inside the house. The kind of sound that doesn't belong in a sleeping home at that hour. Deliberate, forceful, impossible to sleep through. The wife wakes up instantly, looking around the room, trying to locate the source of the noise. Then she turns to her husband and begins shaking him. Gently at first, then harder. She needs him awake. She needs to not be the only conscious person in that room right now. He doesn't move. She shakes him again. Nothing. He remains completely motionless. Not the natural, shifting sleep of someone on the verge of waking, but a deep, unresponsive stillness that visibly frightens her more than the banging did. She calls his name. Still nothing. And then the bedroom door swings open on its own. Slowly, completely, revealing the hallway beyond, and the hallway lights are on, fully illuminated, as if someone had switched them on and was waiting just outside the frame. The wife freezes. On the camera footage, you can see her pull the blanket toward herself, eyes locked on the open doorway. The hallway beyond the door remains empty. At least, nothing visible steps through, but the lights stay on, and the door stays open. For nearly 3 minutes, nothing moves. The husband remains completely unresponsive beside her. The door stays wide open. The lights stay on. Whatever entered that house at 2:47 a.m. seemed to know exactly what it was doing. It made itself heard. It made sure only one of them was awake to witness it, and then it opened the door. The couple reviewed the footage together the following morning. The husband had no memory of the banging, no memory of being shaken. He had slept through all of it without interruption. So tell me, if you woke up at 3 a.m. to that sound, and the person next to you wouldn't wake up, and your bedroom door opened on its own to a hallway that was already lit, what would you do?